We've got some people sitting in the dark out there. PG&E is working on restoring power to some 1,700 customers this morning. Fremont fire officials say 3 men working on a propane tank are lucky to be alive this morning. The men were doing repair work on a Fremont home, but instead did thousands of dollars of damage to it. And the weekend storm didn't have as much punch as we thought it would, but that doesn't mean we're in the clear yet. A series of new storms is headed our way. The next one is expected to hit the Bay Area this morning.
She's well. She's back with us. Isabel, lucero, good morning, and where do we start?
Thank you very much, Terry. I am back, and good morning to you once again. You can take a deep breath now that the brunt of the storm has passed, but it's not forgotten. It caused havoc yesterday. Delayed flights at San Francisco International Airport, flooded streets, landslides, and fender benders. Mother Nature's fury caused delays at SFO yesterday. Some flights were delayed up to 3 hours. Officials cut the use of 2 of 4 runways, causing more than 30 morning flights to be canceled. And a mudslide on Interstate 580 in the Oakland Hills had cars literally floating. The mud came gushing out of the Gallagher and Burke quarry. It happened so fast that several people had to be rescued from their cars. One elderly woman was sitting waist high in mud and water but was not hurt. Westbound lanes of 580 were eventually opened. And in Watsonville, conditions were so bad, mandatory evacuations went into effect. The rain came so fast yesterday afternoon, the Corralitos River was spilling over its banks. More than 20 residents were evacuated from a nearby labor camp. They had only a few minutes to grab their things and leave. Nearby businesses were also flooded. And in Santa Cruz County, flash flood warnings also prompted an evacuation advisory yesterday, but it fell on deaf ears. Some residents just didn't want to leave. They got around 5 inches of rain. The stormy weather still has more than 25 people who live in the rugged terrain without power this morning. PG&E officials say power should be restored sometime today.
Illegal immigrants who want to better their lives by getting a college education will have to dig deep into their pocketbooks and pay a very high price for it.
A new state ruling will now require illegal immigrants to pay higher fees if they want to attend a Cal State university. But some say that's unfair.
Claire Swartz with the California Rural Legal Assistance says illegal immigrants pay the same taxes that California residents pay, and they too should have access to the public services and programs they've paid for. CSU officials estimate that nearly 1,000 illegal residents attend the university's 20 campuses, paying yearly fees of about $1,800. But now the cost is a little more than 4 times higher. Illegal immigrants will have to pay around $7,800 a year. This same as out-of-state resident fees. Students who plan on transferring to a Cal State university are divided on the issue. It's a debate that will continue long after the new policy is implemented. In Monterey, I'm Isabel Lucero, KCCN Central Coast News.
¿Cuánto tiempo tiene aquí, Vicente?
Every year, thousands of illegal immigrants cross the border looking for a better life, the American dream. Instead, many find themselves living in substandard conditions and taking jobs that most Americans don't want. While these faces are expected to become the majority in California by the year 2000, they are not welcomed by some.
I'm working to deny state services to illegal immigrants. Enough is enough.
And according to a new study released today by the Urban Institute, California is one of 7 states with the largest number of undocumented immigrants. And they are being accused of draining the economy rather than putting more into state and local taxes.
The study claims that these 7 states will pay more than $400 million this year to put illegal immigrants behind bars and provide emergency medical care, as well as pay $3 billion to educate their children. But some say the study is contradictory. It only looks at their costs and not their contributions. Some credit immigrants for keeping California's economy from collapsing. And traditionally, this country has welcomed those who have been oppressed. But during difficult economic times, Simone Salinas says there has to be a scapegoat. Others say if the study is right on target, then politics aside, the numbers speak for themselves. In Salinas, Isabel Lucero, KCCN Central Coast News. There's a lot of hammering, pounding, and plastering going on in Mission Fields now that the wild storms and the flooded streets have passed. The sunny weather has contractors working in full force. But there's a damper over this neighborhood. Unlicensed contractors have been making their rounds. But the Hale family turned away contractors who knocked on their doors, whether they were legitimate or not. They say seeing their home sitting in 2 feet of water was devastating enough, and they did not want to make any rash decisions. That's just one of the tips that these contractors say homeowners should follow. They should also ask to see a contractor's license, as well as call the Better Business Bureau. Just yesterday, 7 men were arrested on suspicion of contracting without a license here in the Mission Fields neighborhood. And the families here who were devastated by the flood say they literally depend on contractors for helping them put their lives back together. That's why Leo Grass with the Pacific Construction Company gets angry when unlicensed contractors come in and offer work for less money. Work that is guaranteed by experts who are licensed and insured. Here in Mission Fields, I'm Isabel, Lucero, KCCN, Central Coast News.
One of the most interesting ways that they're different is with their stomach.
Do you know how many stomachs a sheep has? Well, Delia Rivas has the answer.
A sheep has 4 stomachs, and sheep's wool is used for many things. They use them for gloves, they use them for jackets sometimes, and use them for hats.
That's what these 3rd and 4th graders from around the Central Coast learned about today, as well as all sorts of things pertaining to the agricultural industry. The 6th annual event, Farm Day that is, gives these kids a chance to take the classroom outside.
These kids are learning where their food and grain comes from, so that the next time they go to the grocery store, they'll know exactly how much hard work goes into providing them with their favorite fruits and veggies.
Most of the kids thought that their food came from the grocery store and didn't realize just how much hard work goes into raising a crop, let alone the importance of a ladybug. The kids saw a range of farm animals, while some played with toy tractors and compared them to real ones. In Salinas, I'm Isabel Lucero, KCCN, Central Coast News.